Hi guys. Okay, so I have a list here of women, and there's actually a couple more I can add that are actually trying to hurt men psychically, and they're trying to do this surrounding sex and that sort of stuff too. Joan Wisborg, Monica Doolittle, Amber Colbert, Chelsea Smith, Jacqueline Mulick, Heather Glazer, Elise Renouf. That's out of Souk BC. She's that narcissist I mentioned. Joan's also a narcissist. She identifies as a narcissist. And she, I have seen for, it's been around, yeah. How do I get into this now? Amber Colbert has abused multiple men, around 4 or 5 men sexually. Okay. She was trying to hurt men during sex, and then she's trying to get them to give up power. I said in another video many times. I don't know if I could tell you an exact number that I did not consent to something sexually, and she still kept pushing stuff. Was trying to like turn me on certain things of like manipulate your foot and your kundalini, your back, and you're saying like I don't consent. Tried to like look at your dick in the past, like actually do that stuff. Look at your dick in the middle of the night, and you're like, what the fuck? That sort of stuff. Okay. So yeah, directly, I might do another one about her boyfriend there because she's sexually abusive. Like she's abusive. I already talked about it in another video. I'll see about going into more detail. Maybe I'll come back to talk. But okay. So out of all these, all of them have been abusing dark witchcraft, trying to hurt men. All of them on there. I will say about doing individual videos at some point, but this right now, yeah, people need to know. Joan Wisborg, extremely abusive. One of the most abusive. Like if I extremely abusive, the most abusive, and I'm going to say piece of shit I've ever seen in my life would have to be Elise Renouf, and then I would say Jillian is right in there, is up there. Yeah. There is. Oh man, I'll still have to do individual videos now. I want people to know. I want people to know. I want people to be able to double check. Because I want people to know. They need to know how abusive certain women have been towards men and what they're doing with witchcraft, what they're doing, not just witchcraft, but spiritually, but also sexually towards men. Every single woman I've listed on there has been sexually abusive in some sort of way, where the intent was to connect and at least psychically, okay, as I'm referring to it. But Amber, sexually abusive in the physical, and trying to hurt men. So all these people on here have pulled stuff in some way, shape, or form with that stuff. Whether it be they would try to connect sexually to have grounds, they call it, to be able to get at the guy after to try to hurt them. But it could be anything from just like they're joking with the guy and then they're offering something sexually, psychically, and then next thing you know, maybe they went back and forth psychically, sexually, and then they're going to try to use that to turn around and hurt the guy in some way, shape, or form. There's people doing markers, projections, spells, trying to reconnect people to old abusive girlfriends, try to trick and get people to connect sexually that they never even consented to. So there's people on this list that was, who's done it? Elise Renouf has done that. Jacqueline Mullett's done that. I believe Heather Glazer's done that. Chelsea Smith, I believe, has done that. I don't feel Amber did. And Jillian has too. Literally gone trying to get something sexually going and then actually tried to redirect where there was no consent between the guy or another woman to push two people together sexually. Okay? So all these people, they're not following anything about, yeah. So then they're at the point, it's sexually abusive. It's literally people, I don't consent to it, I just saw it back to 3 years. It's literally women that are being sexually abusive. So can you imagine, honestly, like how do we even fucking explain this? This is how fucking toxic some of these people are. And I'm going to make sure everyone knows how fucking toxic they are, okay? If this was stuff like, these are women that are doing this. I say women for some of these because some of these women, they're not even women yet, okay? And they're in their 30s and 40s. trying to push two people together sexually that did not consent to it at all. And there is multiple people in here who tried to reconnect people to abusive ex-girlfriends that were narcissists sexually, knowing full well that they had been harmed or abused by them. And Jacqueline Mulek did that. Heather Glaser, I believe, was part of that. Elise Renouf did that. Joe Misberg done that. Yeah. The thing about consent there, yeah, like directly trying to cause harm with that stuff. And I'm kind of going like, why are they not at all considering what comes back? Their sacral. So I did say in another video, I'm not going to name her, okay, out of respect to her, but there is a girl I know of that she used to go around enjoy hurting men, okay? Like, and this was about like, yeah, like had a pattern of hurting men. And I believe it was, I don't know if I'll be very vague about it. I don't know if it was totally sexual, but I know it was kind of like a lot of, how to describe it? Heartbreaker, okay? And you know what ended up happening to this girl? She ended up having issues, marriage issues, sacral issues, libido issues, dryness issues, hormone issues. I think I just said all of them, yeah, roughly. It might have been more, okay? From that, this is a list of people that are directly trying to abuse sexually. There's way more I could say about each thing on here. So, I mean, there's people in there that have gone and offered stuff sexually, trying to trick men into harm where they would have been redirected in some way where they'd be harmed. Or they wanted to literally trick men into something sexual so their friends could go and start hurting them. That is actually who Jacqueline Mulek is. Yeah. That is who Chelsea Smith is. Heather Glaser is. That's who they really are. That's who they are. These are not... There's so many people, when I see this, like, they're so fucking fake. Every person on here. It is, I want people to know. Okay? Because what's so fucked is this is stuff that they're doing, but then you're seeing people on this list in the physical, like, oh no, like they seem like they're this or that. And I'm like, I'm telling you right now, this is exactly stuff that I know they're doing. Because they are. So, man, I'm wondering how detailed to get into it. I maybe will on the podcast. I think I need to do that on a podcast at some point where I can go right into it. When you hear what some of these women have been like, what they are like. And I'm going to make sure everybody knows the stuff they pulled with this, because how abusive they would be towards guys. Yeah. So I'll have to see about doing individual stuff on there. But Amber Jones had patterns of abusing men. Elise Renouf has patterns of abusing men. Yeah, I want people to know. So maybe it's just a thing of I don't want people to have to deal with this, or it's just I want people to know. I want people to know what they have pulled. So I will go right into detail about that. At some point I'm going to have to, yeah. Excuse me. So the thing with, yeah, I said it before. So I listed off stuff about, I'm looking at Jillian's name here. The amount I could write and discuss about shit she has pulled. Okay. I literally have seen her, and she pulled this. Okay. It'll have to be a separate video. It'll probably have to be a separate video. The amount. And I know there is people who have picked up on her. I know there's literally people in the US that have warned me about her. Multiple people have warned me about her. Guys need to look out when you are having women that are trying to connect to you sexually. And I'm talking about psychically, but also physically. If they're pulling stuff and using it to manipulate, harm, if there's a control, like something in there of the intent is harm, and they're using that to try to get the guy to be okay with being abused, which is conditioning, which sounds disgusting to even say it, but there is multiple people. I think almost every single person on there was trying to condition men into tolerating abuse or into some sort of one of these. Yeah, and guys need to know, and they need to like pay attention to this stuff. So I mean, there is. I'm gonna say, like, oh my god, when I tell people the level of shit, and these are women, okay? So I've said before, they are just. I want people to know this, who these people, who they really are, okay? And this is all this stuff has come up the past couple of years where it's just like, by the way, here they are. God's drawing out literally pretty much every person on this list, and they're being shown. So I know that was happening with Chelsea Smith, Jackson Miller, Heather Glazer, that group there. They're being drawn out. That came to me. So the more I saw, the more I went, you gotta be fucking kidding me. You gotta be fucking kidding me. And they're out there pretending like crazy, like, oh no, they're like a good person, they're this and that, whatever. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? They literally were trying to cause guys to get reconnecting sexually to exes who full on abused them, that were narcissists, like full on trying to do that to cause harm and not caring at all, and then flip it around and trying to revise it, and then and do that sort of stuff, and then look innocent, and then go back to all sorts of shit. Yeah. Oh yeah. So I want people to know who they really are. So this is like 11 minutes. I might just have to do it. I would have to start writing it out, and I'm going to at some point, and go right into it about each person. It's to the point, I literally, oh my God, I could get into different things right now, but I feel like each one might need, it's each going to need an individual video. Yeah. Yeah, it's to the point, I'll give you some idea. There is a piece of shit on here, which I am going to say it, Heather Glazer, that tried to condition a dog, a bell, psychically, trying to hear that when people go by, and had a gym that went in Sherwood Park, Alberta. They knew the owners, and they tried to manipulate a post about how you condition an animal. Okay? And it showed the thing of like ringing a bell and all that. That's directed at me. And I do miracles for the planet. I've been doing miracles daily for years. So her and her piece of shit friends, those weak piece of shit friends, Brandon Jacobs included in that. So her husband, her gay husband, turns out he's gay, also took part in this. Jackson Mulick, Chelsea Smith. Yeah, they have been pulling stuff now for over a year. Elise Renouf, 4 years-ish now. Amber Colbert, around 4 years, and also Joan Wisborg, 4 years. They got their friend Monica Doolett involved, who manages Goodness Me in Hamilton, Ontario, and started to have her do Dark Witchcraft. Okay. Try to do that. I need to go into huge detail about this, okay? Because the level of stuff, for fuck's sakes, there's people on here who offered their kids sexually. I literally, like, you're in the middle of the night sleeping, and Elise Renouf pushed at my back, tried to turn me on sexually right through my back, and forced me to turn on. And then she starts trying, and she's obviously really turned on psychically, talking sexy about her young kid, and saying, only if you're gentle with them. She did that like 4 times, and then you're hopping out of bed, like you want to punch her in the face because you're so angry, and doing that in the middle of the night, and you were trying to sleep. So someone who had abused you, I had a head tick from narcissistic abuse, from that piece of shit, from her, from a group attack stuff, from all that stuff, and then them trying to connect to you sexually. Yeah. And then literally having that where turns out, so the stuff I will get right into about her. I say her, but my God. If you guys knew, you'd understand, and I'm going to get into really big detail about each person, and you're going to get to know who they really are, because when I'm told God is, quote, drawing people out, it's like drawing people out. Yeah, what it is it's literally showing me who they really were, and they're being shown of like, boom, while I've been moving up like this and been doing miracles daily for years now, and they all of a sudden were acting like this. But the thing is, some of these people on this list, you may be like, what? No, like you look at a picture and no, like this one person here looks so like whatever, and they're innocent. They're just making like baked goods and saying there's love in them. That's Chelsea Smith. that same person made it look like I was on top of her sexually, legs wide open, and I'm going, I do not consent. I do not consent. No, I do not consent. She was going to flash me psychically, try grabbing my chest psychically. Got her friend, Jack DeMille, to offer me a blowjob psychically, then it's going to redirect to her. She's not innocent. And that's what I'm saying. None of these people on here they have a fake fucking image. They fake like crazy, and I want every single person to know exactly the shit they pulled. All right? Like, seriously, they're going to get to... I want everyone to know how fucking abusive each person on that list is. And then I'll be writing more. So Brian Jacobs is going to have one on there too. The attempted rapist downtown Victoria, Kentucky, he's going to be on there too. Gabrielle Bernstein, Mary Folio, they'll have to be on there too. Steve Hardison will have to be on there too. They'll have to be an individual one where I write it out about him. So there's people that people need to know who they are and the stuff they pulled. They've actually gone and done some of that sort of stuff. There's stuff that I wouldn't even say in a podcast, that I wouldn't say, that I saw, with, like, oh my God, seriously. And how do I even say it? I want other people to know that women were this fucking toxic. I want other people to know how fucking toxic these women were. And a bunch, literally, I'm pretty sure every single one of them on that list knows that I've been doing miracles for years and helping the planet and all this sort of stuff, and literally still pulled with it again. I will go into big detail about it. So Jillian, like, the level of shit I have seen out of her is just, I've had multiple people see her one picture, say I can see the evil in her, that sort of stuff. But what they wouldn't see is trying to connect to you sexually or manipulate you. This is what I've seen, okay, about the manipulation from a bunch of these people. They try to manipulate men through the heart chakra and through the sacral. They try to manipulate men through the heart chakra and through the sacral, and try to condition them into tolerating being abused. So if somebody's going, well, why would a guy put up they were trying to manipulate the heart, sacral, manipulate your kundalini through your back or through your foot and entangle. And I even felt it from Amber Colbert trying to do the quote, I want it to feel good, but like I'm going to review you and let me like near you. Meanwhile, she has been really abusive. So imagine that. Imagine women and even heart spells trying to manipulate men's hearts and sacral chakras directly through kundalini. So trying to like manipulate the heart, turn them on, use spells, trying to get them to tolerate it, and the guy's being fucking abused while they're trying to abuse somebody. Trying to get a guy to tolerate it. And then them thinking that they can pull this and think that, oh, no, that won't come back. Think of what I said about that one girl earlier when she was being a heartbreaker. The level of what these women have pulled, what they are going to have to go through, what is going to come back to them is going to be way, I can't even imagine. When it comes back, maybe I'll get on there and teach about it so people hear about it. There's no fucking way you can go out there and act like that with men and pull that stuff and think they're going to be all right. They're not. They're not going to be all right at all. There's literally, yeah. Oh my God. So Jack DeMille, like, there's a good example. You see the one, like, look at the goodness in her and this and that. And look, you look at her picture, whatever. Same person. She's out there gaslighting, tried to do sleep deprivation, tried to pretend like she's going to give a blowjob, then it's going to redirect to a friend, maybe cause harm, was trying to connect sexually and joke around with stuff like that to have ground so friends could come in and cause harm. But took part in, some stuff where there's bullying around fake website stuff, tried to cause reconnection to abusive exes sexually. Not at all innocent. No, it's fake. She's not at all innocent. Same with Chelsea Smith, not at all innocent. Same with Heather Glazer, same Brian Jacobs. I said it before, there's poor Brandon is what I hear. It's like, it's poor Brandon. That's what I hear psychically. And with Chelsea, it's like, she's just a baby. Literally. That's what I pick up on for them. Jack DeMille in there, birds of a feather flock together. It's fake. The entire group is fake. They fake with each other. It's insane. It's this once it's all come out, all their darkness, their shadow, all their shades come out. I was like, you have got to be fucking kidding me who they are. Seriously. And then doing it as a group. So I want people to be able to know what they've been doing. And this is years of stuff that they've been fucking pulling to the point they went in, like, seriously. Yeah. Amber Colbert, she was one of my first teachers. I can't describe how little oh my God, how would I even describe it at this point? Going from viewing it of like, oh, she knows this and that spiritually, that's great, to, oh my God, she's abusing your boyfriend. Oh my God, she was yelling at him over, it was about boner stuff, okay? I'm maybe I shouldn't say it, but I have to go into detail about it, okay? And turns out her boyfriend was molested by another man when he was younger. Oh, and then she's yelling at him and is directing at his dick about him as a man. Oh, and then it's because she wanted to be on top sexually. Oh, and it's because she wanted to get him to give a power to her. Oh, and then I found out that's not just one guy. Until, oh, there's another and another and another. Then I saw the shit she pulled when I'm saying, no, I don't consent. And she doesn't give a shit. And just was like trying to push stuff sexually. And you're like, what the fuck? And I mean many, 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 many times. Like, I don't know if I'll say 60, 70, like up there. Like, you're like, no, I don't know if I'll say that amount, but like up, and you're like, what the fuck? Yeah, gone into, yeah. It is fucked, and I want people to know, because what's really fucked up is some of them will go and do revision and then pretend like, even fake trying to joke around the next day, and then go right into trying to go and push abuse again. Yep. And Gabrielle Bernstein, Mary Folio, I have also seen them do shit with that, and things got very sexual back and forth with those two. Very, very sexual, to the point they were trying to suggest porn to me, for me to have a look at that looked like them. Like, very sexual jokes back and forth. But then they also got to the point of saying stuff like, we don't give a fuck about you, wouldn't matter if you killed yourself, those sort of things coming up. Yes, that did happen. And then revise it, try to joke with you, and then go back to doing certain stuff like that. So if people going like, why? They would do revision, they would try and manipulate, or they would connect women, the heart and the sacral, and do one of these and try to manipulate, but they know full well that's abusive. Those two are extremely abusive, like, not a little bit, extremely abusive, okay? Every single person that I've listed on that list is very, very abusive. It goes from like, they're very, like, very abusive, and I want people to know. So already, like, I want people, when I'm saying this, to double check what I said, because it needs to be known. It needs to be known, stuff that they're pulling. So yeah, I guess I'll have to do individual videos. We'll have to write that out about each single one. Yeah, like, I literally had, fuck, it's fucked. There is people on here. Jillian projected in a bedroom, okay, in the past couple of years. This is how nuts she started acting, going, do you want one of my tits? What, you just want one of my tits? And I was like, what the fuck? I think I said that in another video. And I had taken a sleeping pill, and I was laying there about to go to sleep. I was like, what the fuck? And she tried to project beside the bed and do that. That's the level of how she's acted. Tried to, like, push something about a psychic blowjob on the astral plane, and I had not consented, any of that sort of stuff. And then she tried to make her hand look kind of weird and her face shifting and all this sort of stuff. And just to, like, see my dick. And I'm kind of like, oh my, you wake up like, oh my God, her acting like that. And just went completely into shadow and darkness. And then she'll run off and say something to maybe one of her friends and pointing at me, and I'm kind of going, are you fucking kidding me? A bunch of these women, I don't think they tell their friends any of what they're actually doing, because I've double checked, and I would hear like injustice as injustice towards me, because they're not telling people, or they're lying. And I'm like, On this list, there's multiple people I've done healings on that turn around and start acting fucking nuts. Yeah, multiple people that started acting fucking nuts and started pulling shit and attacking. Yeah. Like, I want people to know who they really are. Okay. Yeah. There is stuff that. How fucking abusive some of these people have been. I want people to know, because I'm not going to have it that people are trying to point stuff directing at me in some way when I'm like, wait a minute, did I have to defend myself? Did I have to deal with some of this sort of shit from people without people realizing? And there's already women in the States that have already picked up on Jillian and already kind of went, like, when they heard some of the videos, like, what the fuck? And would be able to pick up on it. So when I go and I put this out, they're gonna be able to pick up on, like, whoa, he's telling the truth. Like, they did do that. They did. And I don't want people seeing them walk around being like, what do you mean she, like, some of them are yoga instructors are like, no, they're just yoga instructors, and they're just, look at them, they look like they're these innocent women, but they're not at all, and they're actually extremely toxic and abusive. And they did not want me to name, listing off what they did and what it actually is. Oh, Jackie Miller did gaslighting. That is a known mental abuse technique. Oh, sleep deprivation. Let's see how many on that list. All of them except for one have done stuff with that. All of them. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You know who else has done that? Steve Hardison. You know who else has done that? Activation Vibration out of Texas. Anyone else I need to throw in under there? Yeah. You know who else tried to fuck with sleep? Gabor Bernstein. Yeah. After Activation Vibration pulled some of that stuff, there was like 3 people involved. There was a psychic message through Gabor Bernstein's one picture, and it was kind of flung out of like, I got you, that sort of thing. And what it was is they went and told her what they did, and then she threw that in there. But there was other stuff she did try to fuck with sleep. So people thought they could pull that. Women thought they could pull that and thought it wouldn't be brought up. Yeah, it will be brought up, and I'll go into big detail about it. An activation vibration, that is someone who literally rolls on the ground, sticking her finger out like she's a little dick, who went on Dr. Phil, all that sort of stuff, when really she still is a little kid and needs to do rewombing because she didn't have the parenting she needed. So does Jillian. Jillian also needs reparenting. Sorry, not reparenting, sorry. Rewombing. It's way further than reparenting. Like, you actually have to go right into it to pretty much the way I know it, or would have, like, it's way past reparenting, rewombing. Like, they have to completely redo things because the parents just did not do the parenting that was needed. To the point of even creating like a ceremony of like a womb or something to that point for them to, I'm serious, in some way, shape, or form. It's to that point. Okay. Yeah, Monica Doolett. They were trying. Jim was trying to get me to even connect. Was hoping I'd connect to her in some way, sexually, psychically, to use that similar to as kind of like the grounds to like, oh, here, what do you think about her psychically, so that people could try to like take shots. So women that were knowingly trying to use sex to cause harm or to have it like, oh, in the middle, like Jillian was trying to would try to get men to catch sexy and then start attacking their chakras. She was doing that. Boom, attack their sacral, solar plexus, just that. That's who she is. Amber Colbert was trying to put holes in guys' roots and not caring what if she was causing harm during anything, was trying to like push on their back, psychically, sexually, markers, manipulate the root chakra through the foot, all this sort of stuff, not caring if the guys went, no, I don't consent, and still having that sort of attitude. And you're like, yeah. Or some of them trying to redirect sex or stuff from exes onto the guy's back to try to push that. Or trying to really turn them on and then start suggesting stuff. And you're like, no, I don't consent. And still trying to push stuff at you. This is all sexually abusive shit. This is all extremely abusive shit. The sleep thing. So that has been every single person on there except for Monica Joe, and Brandon Jacobs also has done stuff with that. And I want people to know that that's who they are. There's other people that can pick up on. I know we'll be able to pick up on this. Double check with the universe source. I want you to make sure every single person I mentioned gets fully seen for all this. If there's anyone else I think of, I'll throw that in there. Yeah, that has directly gone and done this stuff. Yeah. So I want people to know, and I want people to know they're doing this. It's just, yeah, I've literally said it out loud. So I'm telepathic, but I've said it out loud to some of these people of like, do they not understand? Like literally saying they've gone into darkness, they've gone into shadow, and they're pulling that sort of stuff, and that's already in them to do that sort of stuff. So yeah, and yeah. So the thing I want people to know. I want people to know that they are doing that level stuff. That's how they are treating men. So if someone ever hears anything about, say, me hitting back at somebody spiritually because someone was pushing something abusive, I want people to know what they were doing so they understand. Okay? So they would really understand if they went, what, you attacked back on one of these people? I'm like, did you hear what they were doing? I'm like, did you have somebody pushing at your back, talking sexually, psychically, and you're saying, I don't consent, get away from. I got to the point saying it to Amber. I said, if you try to connect me like that again, I'm gonna fucking hit back at you. Like, you're not gonna. And I said that. I've said that out loud. Of like, I'm like, she tries to connect me, and I said I don't consent. Imagine that, eh? So if that happened with a woman where she's not consenting psychically or sexually in a physical or non-physical, and a guy's pushing something, and what's she gonna do? Probably punch the guy, do something to do it. Like, no, I don't want this. Defend herself. Holy shit! Imagine that. Yeah, exactly. There's literally women who Heather Glazer, I believe it was, tried to push stuff that was supposed to feel like molestation. Yeah, who Heather really is. Elise Renouf, I believe she tried to push stuff that was supposed to be like rape. Yeah, who they really are. What else on here? Chelsea Smith, when she was going to do the flat in the middle of pulling this sort of stuff, was going to have her and maybe other people she knows they're trying to flash her chest, and I said, no, don't. About her, don't for how she's acted. I'm like, don't. Yeah, I literally was. I said it before, like psychically tried to grab my chest when I was out the one day. I was like, what the fuck? That's how they've been acting. That's how she's been acting. I think with the Monica Doolett thing, yeah, trying to get people involved. So obviously she's not telling people what she was doing. She is not telling people. And like I said, how some of these women would do this is they would try to manipulate guys' heart chakra or try to get them to look at them, a picture of them or a video of theirs, and try to get the guy to say masturbate or connect sexy in some way. And we try to have that going, and then maybe heart manipulation or something, and it would be trying to get the person to tolerate abuse through some sort of thing. It could be manipulate the heart, manipulate sacral, something of one of these, and the person getting abused. And that feels, oh yeah, saying that, like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. This is stuff they pulled, and some of them, including Heather, some of them wanted to have that. They wanted to push the feeling of like, this is abusive. Wanted to throw that in there. Yeah. Heather projected herself, quote, how she looked she looked over half naked, like pretty much topless, just about, you saw pretty much half of her body naked, pretty much, looking like about riding on top. That was projected from her. Jack Miller projected her face over my crotch. Chelsea Smith projected, tried to make it look like me on top of her sexually. This sort of stuff, okay? So, but stuff thrown in there that if there's consent and there's nothing toxic is one thing. It's a whole other thing. It's not a whole other thing. I'm not gonna be nice about it if somebody is directly trying to direct. Okay, so yeah, I'll have to do individual videos at some point. But there is, Monica. Okay, there is people in there that they might not look like they be pulling this stuff, but I'm not going to say it that way. This is stuff they are doing. And there's people on here. If you wait till you hear some of the stuff they did, okay? And I want it all to be double checked. But if people are actually trying to turn around women to get guys to connect sexually to them, then they start trying to attack the people's chakras or hurt the men's chakras, or trying to throw imprints on the guy to hurt the guy, hoping some harm will happen to him, or trying to connect him to an ex try to hurt them. So, yeah, I want all these people to be seen for this, because this is really fucked up that that they've gone and pulled that level of stuff. Just, yeah. So, Universe Source, anyone I mentioned on this video, I want them to be fully seen for all the abuse they did with all this sort of stuff. Very seen for it. And anyone that watches, just confirm what I said. Hey, Universe, it's just like double check, okay? Double check everything I said. Yeah, there's more I will say in individual videos about each person, but I will have to I'm gonna have to write it out, and then, like I said, at some point, some podcast stuff. Yeah,